What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I attempted to get some drone shots, but apparently as the drone was up at about 400 foot, it starts to rain. So I kind of panicked there for a second, but the drone is all good. Today, we have a productive day ahead of us. We need to drop off some emblems, a dash cam at the post office. We also need to show you guys updates on the garage because the garage is a chaotic mess. We're also gonna go over some truck updates, both the Gen 1 and the Gen 2. And we also need to make a pit stop and test out the Gen 3 emblem because we don't have that bracket 100% fine-tuned, and a lot of you guys have been asking for the Gen 3 badge. So we're gonna go test this one, and hopefully this is the one that's gonna put us into production. Now, before we get this productive day kicked off, I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee, and it's the weekend, and that means there's going to be a line of cars probably almost to the street to get a cup of coffee. I absolutely hate waiting in line. Pray for me. Mid-drive-through update, we're sitting at a solid 13 minutes. That's actually a lot faster than what I predicted. Low-key though, 7 Brew, it's better than Starbucks. There's a reason why that line is as long as it is. It's like that all the time. And the other thing, if you guys would have just caught my last video, I just did a full detail on the truck. And Wrigley, I gave him a pup cup. Look what he did. He threw up. Why'd you throw up? I'll tell you why. Because he had a pup cup, and then he licks all of the seat cover. And who knows what he just licked up. Wrigley, this is why we can't have nice things. He's lucky. I love that dude. Shipments are dropped off. I'm usually at the post office a solid 4 to 5 days a week dropping off orders, so thank you guys. And I need to start shipping the emblems in small boxes rather than the little bubble mailers that I've been using. I've had a few break in the shipping process. That's just because USPS sucks. And after checking prices, it's basically the same amount to ship it in a bubble mailer as it is a small box. Let's talk about the Raptor that I decided to drive today, and that is the Gen 2, of course. The Gen 2 has really just been my favorite truck to cruise around, but that's just because I have it all set up the way that I like it. And now that I have the Gen 1 set up the way that I do, now it's like every time I go somewhere, I'm like, Gen 1 or Gen 2? Gen 1 or Gen 2? And now that I got those Morimoto XP Evos on the Gen 1, that thing is just super sick. And I made a post recently on Instagram, and it was kind of a troll post in a way, but it was talking about how I preferred the Gen 2 over the Gen 1. And a lot of people just took it as I'm saying the Gen 1's junk, or the Gen 1 sucks, or they just talked a lot of about the V6, which I understand. In and out of traffic, like I can dart with this thing. I'm always kind of in a hurry, so I just like to just get from point A to point B. Between the 10-speed transmission and this being twin turbo, I can just kind of like get in and out of traffic, especially on the weekends because my hometown just gets so chaotic with people coming into town to shop. Anyways, I've been thinking about changing up the Gen 2 just because I think I just kind of get bored like everybody else does. Maybe you see some stuff on the internet and then you're like, well, that would look cooler on my truck. And then here we are thinking about changing it up. But the things that I've been thinking about doing, for one, is just getting rid of the decal on the bed. That's still there. If you guys watched the previous video, I got rid of the hood decals, which it looks a lot better. So now it's on my mind to get rid of the decal that's on the bed. And I've also been thinking about removing my pillar lights, which they're the Baja Designs XL Sports. They're super bright. Here's the thing, I hardly ever use them. They're really good at nighttime, especially like if you're somewhere dark, and around Iowa there's deer galore. So what I'm thinking is maybe take these pillar lights, throw them on the Gen 1 for a bit, see how I like them. So let me know your thoughts on those pillar lights. Keep them or no? And the other thing that I've been thinking about changing up, I had black wheels, and then I would see everybody drive around town and I'm like, black's played out. So I switched to bronze, and I feel like now bronze is the new black. There's just a lot of vehicles with bronze around town. I still like the way they look. Now I've been going down the rabbit hole of possibly, I looked at the silver wheels, and I know that's kind of like the new trendy thing too, and I feel like that's just gonna become the new black, the new bronze. And the reason we're not doing any work to the Gen 1 or the Gen 2 this weekend is because the garage is currently under construction. So we're gonna head back there and show you guys what we're doing, because there's a lot of things that needed fixed in that garage. Here's what we got going on in the garage. Not only are we modernizing the Gen 1 Raptor, but we are also modernizing my garage. Now, I'm trying to not spend a ton of money, but at the same time, I want it to be done up a lot better, because there's just some things that over the years, whoever lived here in the past, I don't even know what they were thinking. all the shelving that was in here, removed all that. I had a shelf up there, a shelf over here. Actually, I had 2 shelves over here. Took those down, and then I hired someone to come in and do all the drywall because there was so much drywall work to be done that this was over my pay grade. And if you look back at some of my videos, you would have seen the ceiling just was like falling apart, like cracks everywhere, holes. That's just something that I don't want to fix, and I just wanted it to get fixed right. Even by the garage door opener, there used to be a hole right here, and that's because that's where the old one was. That's the new one. So I had them patch that. Then this wall is like off-white, cream white. I don't even know what they were thinking. But basically, they stuck that piece of plywood on that wall, and then whoever lived here decided, let's repaint that wall. And they definitely didn't paint match it, and then they just painted over that piece of plywood. I had the popcorn finish removed from the ceiling. Some of the trim needed redone, so I have new trim pieces there. And then this whole section right here, basically this big old piece, I don't know if you can kind of make that out in the video, I hit that probably 3 or 4 times with my old boat motor, so I knew that needed replaced, so we replaced that whole section. More trim work down here that got replaced. Right here used to be a doggy door, and I had like 2 pieces of drywall that was blocking it, but then there was also a piece just blocking the doggy door, but it was still there. Behind another piece back here, there was a big old hole over here, so that needed fixed. Here was a spot for an exhaust fan. I don't need an exhaust fan, so I got rid of that. And then over here, this is where I would do my custom airbrushing. I don't really do that anymore, but there was days where I would not be having a good day. My sprayers would be clogged, and I just didn't care, so I would just take my gun, and I would just be like, and spray, and that's what you see is going on here. This whole row of cabinets, I was debating on if I was actually gonna get rid of it or not, but we're just gonna keep it for the time being. I didn't wanna buy a whole new cabinet system because, let's be honest, I'll start looking, and then before you know it, I'm gonna buy the nice stuff, and it's gonna be well over $1,000. This, we're gonna just spray black just to make it look decent for right now. For the ceiling, we're gonna go flat black, and for the walls, we're gonna go flat white. Now, hear me out. I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna be like, you should do semi-gloss, you should do satin. I'm gonna tell you guys that I went down the road of different sheens for your garage, and I swear whatever sheen that you want, you could type that into Google and you're gonna find that that's a good sheen for the garage. There's so many different opinions on what sheen: flat, matte, satin, semi-gloss, eggshell, gloss. I watched a video and a couple other people on Reddit had said this. They said the way to go is flat in a garage, because you're not gonna be wiping your walls off. If you get something on your wall, flat just matches so easy. So if you get a stain on your wall, you just paint over it with some more flat white or whatever color you did. So flat is the way. It's gonna be happening Monday. Now this is where I need some help. Now I've already got lights that I've used in my previous videos you guys would have seen, but I do the hex lights. Everybody has the hex lights, and I swear they're kind of like played out. They like do look cool and they add a vibe to the garage, but I still just don't know if I should do the hex lights. So let me know your guys' opinion on those, if they're too played out. Because I'm thinking if I do them, I would do one on this side and one on this side, but I'm in the trial and error and researching Google images and all of that stuff. The big thing was though, is just getting all the drywall patched up and getting it retexturized. So that should be done here in the next few days. So once that's done, I might do like a garage video, and then after that, we're gonna get right back into probably modernizing the Gen 1. Currently we're en route. We're gonna try out the Gen 3 Raptor emblems. Hopefully it fits. We decided that we were gonna take the Gen 1 because why not? I just did a little test fit. It needs a little more fine tuning. It's so close right now. It's just angled a little bit down, and it's not good. I could sell it that way, but I'm not going to. I want it to be perfect. We're gonna go back to the drawing board. We're gonna adjust our brackets, and we should be dialed in after this one. So hopefully here within the next week or so, I'll get new ones printed out and we'll try it again. And there's actually a Gen 1 at another dealership that I kind of want to go check out. It's got 170,000 miles. It's a black one for like the 19,000 price range. So it's not priced horrible. It's got Gen 2 bead locks on it. Let's take a little trip and check this guy out. The Corsa Extreme does not disappoint. Here's the deal. If you're gonna do exhaust on a Gen 1, it's either you leave it stock or you go Corsa Extreme. There's nothing in between. Ooh, look, they got a couple Raptors up here. Looks like the refreshes. Gen 1, Mustangs. No, we don't want a Nissan. Oh, I see it back here. Oh, I got another Gen 2 over here too. No applique. Second dealership with no applique. That's a no-no. And here is our 2013 black Raptor. Okay, right off the get-go, it has got brake dust like no other. I've never seen brake dust that bad. It definitely has the rustation. Oh yeah, it's rusted pretty good on the rockers. So it's gonna need all new metal. That's not gonna be cheap. Just your typical running boards that are chipping. On a higher mileage Gen 1, this is completely normal for it to be chipping. The interior looks to be in pretty good shape. Like the driver's seat, where usually the left side of your body is and your arm, it gets cracked really, really bad. And that's actually, you can't see it through this window because of the glare. It's in pretty good shape. The interior looks to be in pretty good shape. Like the driver's seat, where usually the left side of your body is and your arm, it gets cracked really, really bad. And that's actually, you can't see it through this window because of the glare. It's in pretty good shape. That's a plus with being, it's got 171,000 miles. The front wheel has that brake dust on it as well. I almost wonder if it's like, maybe this truck's from out of state and they lived on some sort of dirt road. Doesn't have any of the graphics. The headlights appear to be in pretty good shape. I don't see any scratching. Yeah, those are in pretty good shape. I'll give them that. This running board, it's chipped up some. It's gonna need fixed, replace something, but you can't buy these running boards anymore, so you gotta like recoat them. And that's the process I'm currently in with mine. And of course, it's got the rust on this side, and so I'm sure it's rusting on the rockers. Yep. So potentially too, these like to rust inside the doors as well. And this wheel has the infamous brown, red, clay, dirt looking stuff. Either they put super cheap brake pads on, or they live down some sort of dirt road in another state, but Iowa does not have that color. I will say though, the interior does look like it's in mighty fine shape. I will give them that. So the price point it's at's pretty good, but the problem is that rust. The price on their website is like 18 grand or something like that, but then the price on Facebook was like 20 grand. I almost feel like the pictures on their website, this truck looks like junk, so then somebody detailed it and maybe they upped the price to 20. Overall, it would be probably a pretty good truck, but that rust, it's pretty bad, and you're gonna have to pay a pretty penny to get that fixed. In conclusion, would I buy this truck? Maybe if I could get it for under the 18 price range, because that's quite a bit of rust. Mine's got a little rust, but it's not that bad, and I've already been quoted about $1,800 to get it fixed with new metal. That's all we got for you guys today. I'd rather be in the garage, or I'd rather be at home doing mods to the truck, but since the garage is completely under construction, it just made more sense to just kind of get some errands knocked out and take you guys along with me. Let me know your thoughts on the Gen 2 changes, and also, should I go hex lights or no hex lights? And make sure to drop this video a like, because Wrigley is bored. Hey, Wrigley, that's the position he gets in, and I think that's the most comfortable. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Honest opinion, would I buy a Bronco Raptor? No. I believe these are for the ladies. These are for the ladies. If you have one, I'm sorry, don't hate me, but that's kind of how I feel about them.